Hi, everyone. Mercedes here with She Critiques in Atlanta. Speaking of your cast, Shaka, they talked about how this film stretched them emotionally and spiritually in the making of it. And I'm just wondering how it impacted you on the other side of the lens watching this, and how did you encourage your cast in those emotionally challenging days?
I'm still kind of unpacking the way that it impacted me because I sat with it so much longer than them, you know, researching and writing it. Like, I mean, I remember when the pandemic hit, and a lot of people I knew, close friends I had, were, kind of going through a dark phase. And I was like, oh, I've been in a dark phase, you know? And so, yeah, I'm still sort of unpacking how it affected me in terms of being there for them. I just I recognize the challenge that actors have just acting, performing, and inhabiting really. You know, uh, a different person in front of a bunch of what feels eventually a crew and a cast form a familial relationship, but essentially you're performing in front of a bunch of strangers. You're naked, you have lights on, you have a camera in your face. It's very challenging, and it's all the more challenging when you're talking about you know an icon and someone like Fred Hampton, a living icon and someone like Akua Najeri, formerly known as Deborah Johnson. But I would always tell Lakeith, who for me personally had the most difficult job on set, that he was making the greatest sacrifice because his job was thankless. And his only reason for saying yes to this role was because he thought it was important that this story get out there and that, Fred's words and ideas be put forth into the world. But he gets no rewards for that, you know? And so I would remind him of that, in those days when he was really, really going through it. And, it, I know, I hope to help in the moment,
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
No problem.
My question is for Lakeith. Watching this film was excruciating to watch Bill go through this inner turmoil, this conflict that he's dealing with. And I just wanted to know, for you as an actor, how was it navigating those emotions internally?
Yeah, there was a bit of conflict going on, many levels. I knew that there was conflict in the character, but there was also conflict within me personally. That I guess essentially in most interactions, I was trying to lift the veil of that conflict and let it be exposed. And I thought that that might add dimensions to the character that don't exist in, or at least didn't exist in my initial imagination of who he might be, since I didn't have a wealth of accurate knowledge about his personal life. Since a lot of the operations that he did were clandestine, a lot of his identity and things he did were not really public knowledge. So I tried to derive mainly the most I could from Eyes on the Prize interview, in which he indicated to me that he had actually some really you know regretful ideas about the things that he did, and in fact, he wasn't just all of this polished exterior with all this bravado that he tried to push forward. In fact, there was a little bit of fear and insecurity and unsureness about what I saw in him, and I thought that was just more interesting than a big bad villain guy. So I wanted to try and marry the two and try and find some more of an honest place to come from.
Absolutely. Breathtaking. Both performances. Amazing, guys. Thank you.